the one big threat that I'm obsessed with now is not occupational licensing. I know all the groups have been working on this for a long time, and it just keeps coming back because of the local politics and the special interests. But the thing that I'm obsessed with is free speech in the digital age, which is something you're obsessed with as well.
Yeah.
And I can't help but being cynical about a senator who proposes a whole new regulatory paradigm to protect children, because the go-to argument, since as long as I've been in Washington, whatever it is, we have to save the children. And your argument in a nutshell is that you're building an infrastructure that's going to violate everybody's privacy, and anonymous speech is fundamentally an American thing.
Yeah, it really kills me because I think when it comes to kids, you have to take it extra carefully because this stuff can happen and people kind of squeeze by with stuff. Like with the new agency stuff, there have been a couple of senators who've talked about it. Like Lindsey Graham keeps saying we need a whole new agency to do this stuff and to make sure they can take away the license if there's speech you don't like on a platform. Oh, that's not a Section 230 issue. That's a First Amendment issue.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you care about this stuff too, because I think there's people fall on different sides of this stuff a lot differently than other issues, whereas I think licensing tends to gain a lot of allies. This one, people are like, oh, well, I'm mad at tech because they're biased. Of course they're biased. I'm biased. We're all biased, and news is biased. It sucks, but people are biased, and that's part of our First Amendment rights. And then when it comes to kids, I didn't expect to get into this. I didn't expect to get into a lot of what I get into, but I started reading these kids' online bills, and I'm like, oh my gosh, because I think a core piece of this is that it would require age verification. And a lot of people are like, oh, you show your ID in the market to get alcohol, you show your ID to get cigarettes, to go to pornography stores, stuff like that. So what's the difference? Well, those people don't keep databases of your government IDs. When you go back, you have to show your ID again because they have lost the information, which is good. I'm glad they don't keep that stuff on file. But online, that's not how it's going to work. And it won't just be your age. It'll be your information, all the stuff that ties it together. And with government involved, I'm not loving that. When Facebook on its own wanted to use IDs to, and I think they're still going to verify users, I wasn't crazy about that to begin with. And having the government mandate it, it's going to really wreck a lot of rights online.
It strikes me that in some ways the cat's out of the bag because so many of these big tech platforms already have contracts and working relationships with the government. So in a lot of ways, we should be doubling down on privacy.
Yeah.
Because I do think there's abuse from the so-called private sector, because I'm not sure how private it is anymore. Because the relationship, I don't know if it's regulatory capture. I don't know if it's tech companies not being able to refuse an offer that they can't refuse. But whatever it is, there's way too much collusion with government already.